So talking about crypto at WEF Summit, PM Modi said a global effort is needed. There was focus on collective effort in his speech. He said decision taken by a single country will be insufficient to deal with its challenges. Cryptocurrency is an example of challenges we are facing as a global family. Now remember, he's made this point time and again about how there has to be a global collaborative effort when we talk about cryptocurrency or deal with it. Now he said every nation, every global agency needs to have collective and synchronized action. But back home, what happens to the crypto bill that was expected to be tabled in the winter session? Well, there were reports of it being introduced in the budget session, but as per government sources, it is unlikely to be introduced in the budget session. So all those details also on your screen. Decision on bill's final structure is likely to come after polls. This is as per government sources. Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants global deliberations on crypto regulations, as we also spoke about this, explaining the WEF comments. Then delay is unlikely to provide more clarity on taxation of crypto income in India is also what our sources tell us. Now we'll break this open to a discussion with our experts. Joining us, Sharat Chandra, VP Research and Strategy, Earthid, a global decentralized identity management platform. Then we have Prasanna Lohar, also Chief Innovation Officer, DCB Bank, and founder of India Blockchain Forum. A very warm welcome to both of you. My first question to Sharat. Now, what is your interpretation of global deliberations on crypto regulations? Because we keep hearing our Prime Minister or other experts talking about this.
Thanks, Arun, for the question, and thanks for having me. I think the call for global regulation is appropriate and very, very timely for the simple reason because the decentralized nature of the technology being borderless, right, and it's evolving so much that not even a single country is able to come up with a comprehensive regulation. So that's why the call for global regulation is very much in sync with even IMF's guidelines. So IMF chief Geeta Gopinath, even she kind of endorsed a similar view. Now look at one important aspect where India happens to be a G20 member, a founding member. So G20 started in 1999. And now in December this year, India will take over the presidency of G20. And we will have a G20 summit next year during 2023. So India has I would say the pole position in terms of spearheading or leading the momentum of call for global regulation because G20 is already also linked to Financial Stability Board, which has a mandate to work on cross-border payments and ensure financial stability, where G20 members like say US, UK, Europe, and even Hong Kong, South Korea can come together and frame a comprehensive and inclusive regulation. So very timely and very right in the approach.
Okay, Mr. Lohar, now I also want to talk about, tax-related conversation. Which tax-related fixes you think we need to fix, immediately?
Yeah, I think as of now, there is no clarity for end users to take care of their crypto investments, right? As such, there is no regulation, although SEBI has commented on these taxes, etc. But as such, for an end user, there is no clarity. So it makes a very blurred vision for end user whenever they are investing into crypto and so on. And as Sharat has rightly said, it's a time to come up with a regulation which will help taxpayer also to look at, because say example, if you look at mutual funds or any of those other instruments where there is a complete clarity how taxation will happen. Crypto is something which is not regulated entity, although a lot of Indians are investing. Unless we have some clarity, I think it will be a blurred vision. I think that is what is very, very important. If they are investing into cryptos, it's good to have a tax vision, yeah.
But Mr. Lohar, if not a bill, do you think there would be a taxation-related regulation in the upcoming budget?
I'm not sure, this time also, although we were expecting last year will happen in 2021, but the way we are looking at 2022 also, I'm not sure it will be again restudied or calibrated in this session also.
Okay. And Sharat, what are your thoughts on this? And you think ban is definitely off the charts here?
Yeah, so I agree with Prasanna that clarity with respect to taxation has to be there, and I don't see a ban happening soon. And we should definitely not follow some of the neighbors like China and Pakistan, which are going that particular route. It's not a feasible approach to follow, right? But I would also like to mention how some of the aspects of taxation, let's say the government can first begin with classifying these assets and and classify what are the rules of, let's say, business income or capital gains tax to begin with, right? So that entities who are part of the crypto ecosystem don't get harassed by the tax authorities, and they can, because they're more than willing to comply with all regulations.
Right.
So there has to be clarity on GST and on other aspects as well.
Okay,
So
every time we talk about regulation, there's also conversation about CBDC as well. I want a quick reaction from both of you on that as well. Mr. Lohar, to you first. Do you think CBDC will be a good counter to cryptocurrency in India?
Yeah, if you look at the whole money history, right, which we have seen starting from your gold to the plastic money recently, right, I think CBD is going to be the actual future of money, right? So that's what we have seen. We will see how paper-based currency will be, and one of the option CBDC will be there. That's how we will look at a better, because CBDC will be a legal tender which will be governed by the central banks like RBI in India. There are 60 plus more central banks who are studying, doing some experimentation around it. There are live cases, say example, China, Cambodia, Singapore, between Canada, wholesale or retail CBDCs. And it has a lot of value, wherein we'll benefit out of this value. I can say that GDP value of India will go to the some increment because of the CBDC. So it's good to, as a country like India, when they are enforcing a lot of work on railroads like Aadhaar, UPI, I think this decade will be for CBDC. Okay. Last decade, it was supposed for a UPI. I think CBDC will one of those game changer this year. Yeah.
Well, those wondering, CBDC is central bank digital currency, which would be RBI's own digital currency. And very quickly, Sharat, your thoughts on it?
So what I think is there will be a coexistence of CBDCs, stable coins and cryptocurrencies, because they have different use cases, different utilities, right? The way NFTs, or let's say stable coins, which are being kind of used very aggressively in the DeFi space, right? Billions of dollars worth of stable coins are kind of engaged in DeFi platforms. So different use cases, different utilities. So there will be a coexistence, and there will not be one coin ruling all. So we won't be seeing CBDCs replacing cryptocurrencies. They all are here to stay.
Okay, thank you so very much, both of you, for talking to us on this.